The person who hurt you most in your life. I'd be willing to bet it wasn't a stranger. It wasn't someone you met once and never saw again. It wasn't a random person who wandered into your life for 5 minutes. It was someone you knew, someone you were comfortable with, someone who felt safe. And that's the part nobody talks about. Because we've been told our whole lives that familiarity equals safety, that the longer you know someone, the more you can trust them. That comfort is a signal your gut is giving you, a green light. But what if that's completely wrong? What if the feeling of familiarity, that warm, easy, I know this person feeling, is actually one of the most exploitable things about you? Let me show you exactly how it works, because once you see this, you will never unsee it. There's a psychological principle called the mere exposure effect, times. It was discovered by a researcher named Robert Zions back in the 60s, and what he found was almost unsettling in its simplicity. The more you're exposed to something, anything, the more you like it. Not because it's better, not because you've evaluated it, just because it's familiar. He tested it with shapes, with faces, with sounds, with nonsense words. Didn't matter. Repetition alone created preference. Exposure alone created trust. Your brain, at a very deep level, operates on one core assumption: familiar equals safe. It's an ancient survival shortcut. In a world where the unknown could kill you, the known felt like solid ground. But here's the thing, that shortcut was built for a very different world. A world where the threats came from predators and strangers and dark forests. It was not built for a world where the most dangerous people in your life would be the ones who learned how to become familiar. And that's exactly what certain people do, consciously or not. They show up consistently. They make themselves a fixture in your environment. They're always there, in your messages, in your conversations, in your peripheral vision, until one day your nervous system just files them under safe. And the moment that happens, your critical thinking about them drops, your guard drops. The mental filter you apply to strangers, that healthy skepticism, quietly switches off. Because why would you question someone familiar? Questioning familiar things feels almost rude, almost paranoid. Most people don't notice this shift when it happens. It's not dramatic. It's not a single moment. It's a slow, invisible reclassification from person I'm watching to person I trust, driven entirely by repetition, not character, not proof, not earned behavior over time, just repetition, times. Now here's where it gets darker. The familiarity trap doesn't just lower your guard, it actively distorts how you interpret behavior. There's something in psychology called confirmation bias, the tendency to filter. And once you've decided someone is safe, once you've classified them as my person, every red flag gets reinterpreted through that lens. They cancel plans last minute. It's because they're stressed, you get it. They say something cutting. They didn't mean it like that. You know how they are. They make you feel small in front of other people. That's just their sense of humor. You're not ignoring the signs. You're translating them, running them through a filter that was built not on evidence, but on familiarity. And the translation always comes out the same way. It's fine. I know them. But do you? Or do you just know them well enough to have stopped paying attention? I want you to think about a specific relationship in your life for a second. Not the most obviously toxic one. The subtle one. The one where you sometimes walk away from a conversation feeling slightly off, slightly drained, slightly smaller, but you can never quite put your finger on why. The one where, if someone else described that person's behavior to you, if a friend came to you and said, "This person in my life does this," you'd probably say, "Yeah, that's not okay." Times, but because it's your relationship, because this is someone you've known for years, you hold it differently. You give it a context a stranger wouldn't get. That context, that history, it's not always wisdom. Sometimes it's just the familiarity trap doing what it was always going to do. But it gets worse, because here's the piece that genuinely floors me every time I think about it. The familiarity trap doesn't just affect how you see them. Times it changes how you see yourself. Times when you're deeply familiar with someone, when they've been in your life long enough, their perception of you starts bleeding into your own self-concept. The way they react to you, the way they frame you, the subtle signals they send about who you are and what you're worth. You absorb all of it, Because your brain isn't just using familiarity to evaluate them. Times. It's using the relationship as a mirror. And if that mirror has been slightly, or not so slightly, distorted, if the person holding it has a version of you that's smaller, needier, less capable than you actually are, you start reflecting that version back, without realizing it, without anyone saying a word. This is why some people leave long relationships and suddenly, discover abilities and confidence they didn't know they had. It's not that they changed. The mirror changed. So how do you actually break out of this? And I want to be real with you here. I'm not going to give you a 5-step list, because this isn't a 5-step problem. It's a perception problem, which means the solution starts before action. It starts with one honest question. If I met this person today, knowing nothing about our history, would I choose them? Not would I be nice to them? Not would I give them a chance? Would I actively choose to let them close? That question is uncomfortable, I know. Because for some people in your life, the honest answer is going to land hard. But here's what that question actually does. It strips the familiarity variable out of the equation. It forces you to evaluate the relationship on current behavior, current character, current impact on your life, instead of on accumulated time and history. Time is not a measure of value. Time is just time. And this is the part I want you to sit with, because this is where it actually gets freeing. The familiarity trap only holds you as long as you confuse duration with depth, times, as long as you treat "I've known them a long time" as a reason rather than just a fact. Some of the most trustworthy people in your life might be people you've known for 2 years, and some of the most quietly damaging might be people you've known for 20. Length of exposure is not the same as safety. Comfort is not the same as health. And the moment you genuinely separate those two things in your mind, the moment you stop letting history be a pass, is the moment you start building something different. Relationships where the trust is real, where it was built on consistency and character, and the way someone actually treats you when things are hard, not on how long they've just been around. Times. You didn't walk into the familiarity trap by accident. Your brain put you there. A very old, very well-meaning part of your brain that was trying to keep you safe. But you're not in that world anymore. And now that you see the trap, the question is what you do with that. If this one made you think of someone specific, sit with that. You don't have to blow anything up, but don't look away from it either. Drop a comment below. I genuinely want to know if this one landed. And if someone in your life needs to hear this, you already know who it is.